the Christmas card today. I know it sounds so weird. It's still only August, but I'm trying to get a jump start on things. So back to those same crumb cake note cards and envelopes that we started with the other day for the thank you card. And we're actually going to be using one of the new stamp sets. It's called Holly Jolly Greetings. And I know it looks really simple, but you kind of see where I'm going with this. It also has a coordinating framelit set called Christmas Greetings Thinlits. Now, one of them's not on there. One says Jolly, one says Merry, and the one we're going to use today says Peace. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with a big snowflake, and I'm just inking it up with my crumb cake ink pad. And I'm going to put this kind of over and up. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to grab is it's got an adorable little kind of star pattern. Oh, well, get that in the screen. Okay, so star pattern one, kind of like dots in that. So I just re-inked my crumb cake ink pad, so it's a little bit moist. So we're going to use that, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to use it and kind of stamp off. So I'm going to stamp it once at full strength, and then I'm going to stamp it again, so it just is a little bit lighter, and I'll kind of work my way around the card just like that. It doesn't have to kind of go in any particular pattern or whatever. I'm just trying to get it covered like that. Okay, so you can see there. Now I've got a hunk of sponge. A sponge dauber would do too, so I'm just going to make sure I've got some crumb cake on there. I have way more control with a sponge or a sponge dauber if I brush downward. I know some people kind of drag it along, but I tend to end up with really thick, messy lines when I do. Oh, got a little crazy near the top. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, just kind of while I've got ink and everything out, is I've got a little strip here. It's just shy of 5/8 of an inch wide, and I'm going to actually ink this in Early Espresso. Okay, so just a sec. And just tap really lightly. You don't need to get it all over your stamp. And let's see if I can get this on reasonably straight. Okay, not bad. And then the next thing I've got here is that, you know, that bitty banner punch? Well, if you want to flag your kind of ends, if you take your things and slide them in from the back side, kind of that 5/8 of an inch, just a little bit wider than it's about as large as you can get in. So it's perfect for that, but you come in from that back side, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing. Oh my gosh, go faster. On here. Sorry, you should see, well, you probably can see my hands right now. So you should see my hands right now. Look at the ink from me already this morning. I make such a mess. Okay, so got that much done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these, and these are called the Winter Wonderland embellishments. They're so stinking cute. Okay, so they're like little snowflakes. So I'm going to grab one of those, and with those I'm just going to use my glue dots. So like I said before, I just like to push it onto the glue dots and then peel it off. Okay, and I'm going to line it up the same way as the actual snowflake goes. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, so that's on. Now, I'm actually going to slide all of this stamping stuff. Oh, no, I'm not. I lied. There's one thing I'm going to do before I slide all my stamping stuff out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of my envelopes from this set, and I'm going to ink up that snowflake one more time in crumb cake, but then I'm going to stamp it off first, okay? So I'm going to get rid of that full ink, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to give it a nice subtle one down in the bottom corner. And now I'm done with my stamping. Okay, so now I've got my Big Shot with that precision base plate that I mentioned the other day. So again, I'll show it to you. I'm using it with my multi-purpose platform, both tabs closed. I've got the new precision base plate with the print side down. Do not cut on this one, okay? I guarantee you I'll still do that at some point. And then I've got my paper next, and then this is the one that I was talking about that wasn't on my little sheet of Thinlits that I showed you. And this one is just called, this one just says Peace. Oh my gosh, Here's my well-loved cutting pad. You want to reverse every time you go through with the precision base plate. So just kind of flip your cutting plate up and down every time so that you don't get it warped. And move that framelit around on your thing. If you're cutting a whole bunch, do not cut them continuously in the same spot. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of that. Pop this out. Ta-da! I know, and there was no wax paper there. Did you see that? How much easier it comes out. Now, you do still have to get those little bits and bobs out. Okay, so that's all done. And I was going to say I'll use my silicone. Oh, there it is. I was going to say I'll use my silicone mat, but then I couldn't find it. Okay, so then I've got my silicone mat. And then the new fine tip glue pen again. Remember, it just unscrews like that. Okay, so now make sure I've got this. Oh yeah, you can see it. Good. Okay. If only you could see the setup I used when I'm at my cabin. My iPhone is doing the filming, and it's actually sitting in the cupboard above me, kind of precariously teetering over the edge. There's no kind of fancy filming going on here. Okay, so let's take that, and I'm going to stick this one in. Whoops. Down there. I'll just press that on for a second to make sure I've actually stuck it to the card and not just to my fingers, which is what I generally like to do. Oh, come on, you. You know what I used the other day? I was trying to get kind of even pressure across a whole thing like this that I was gluing down, and I brayered it. Just kept running my brayer over it repeatedly. Okay, so I actually have a little blob building up on top, so I'm going to scrape that off, and then minus my shaking hands. There you go. So that one's in, okay? And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my dimensionals. Now this is, I know it looks like a funny sheet. Yes, they're still Stampin' Up. Actually, it's just out of a, I think it was out of a My Paper Pumpkin kit. So I've got that. I'm an excessive, what's the word? Dimensionalizer? Is that a word? No, it's not. Okay. So I'm an, well, I am. That's what I'm going to be. I'm an excessive dimensionalizer. I put so many on everything. And ta-da, there's my little card with my coordinating envelope for you. Okay, quick, easy. This would be a perfect one if you were doing a whole whack of Christmas cards. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Okay, I finished that card and then I walked away and thought of something else I wanted to put on it. So these are the new wooden snowflake embellishments. Okay, and I was looking and I'm like, okay, naked card, not naked card. So I'm going to go with the not naked card. Now the only advice I have for you with these is because they've got kind of thin arms on them, is when you're adhering them, what I would recommend doing is taking your glue dot. I just use my paper piercer. I decide where I want to put it, and then I put the glue dot down. What I did find is if I actually, oh, now I can't get the paper piercer off my card. If I tried to get the snowflake off of my glue dot ring, I actually ended up breaking off arms of my snowflake. So I'm going to put that on there, and ta-da, done. As long as I get that stuck down. Perfect. Have a good day. I promise that's it. Nothing else to add.